Hey guys, it's Rod with Civil Advantage Firearms Training. Thanks for joining me again. This is a quick update on the debacle of the CZ858 and Swiss Arms rifles. The update, I'm sure many of you have seen the news, that these rifles have now been reclassified yet again as their previous classification previous to February of 2014, whether they're non-restricted or restricted. So it's kind of funny. In real life, here's what happened. For 10 years, these rifles were just target shooting rifles, hunting rifles, whatever, not too dangerous to own. Then for about 1.5 years, they were classified, actually the classification of machine guns, right? They're prohibs, just too dangerous to have out there. And now they're back to normal, not too dangerous to own, right? So, and during this whole period, like really no criminal activity associated with these firearms to speak of whatsoever. But you're seeing the classification system in Canada in action, ensuring public safety. So seems a little cynical and a little bit sarcastic, but it is what it is, you know. Anyway, everything's back to normal apparently. So here's my concern though. So as of today, I've only seen it on the press release side of the Canadian government. The link is in the description box below for you. But that's the only place where I've seen, other than like a CSSA, you know, press release or whatever, right? Some information floating around, where I've seen the government acknowledge that this is already done, that you're already good. The problem is that to my knowledge as of today, which is I think August 3rd, the FRT tables, the firearm reference tables, still say prohibited. So the concern for me is that one of you guys might be out there, out in the forest, using your gun. Hey, it's all good. I'm not a criminal any longer, because it's a fine line apparently. I'm not a criminal any longer. Next thing, you know, an officer rolls up. They're like, oh, I've never seen this rifle. They call the office. The office goes, let me check the FRT. Oh, it's prohib. Arrest this guy. Then there's, you know, an unwarranted arrest and seizure of your firearm. All this for what? So if I were you, again, I'm not a lawyer, not legal advice, but if I were you, just maybe print out the press release because it's got the date on there. And at least, should you bump into law enforcement or get in a car accident, they're like, hey, what's this rifle? Just say, oh, it's probably listed as prohib, but here, as you can see, this is dated for, you know, 6 days ago. It's back to non-restricted status. So I just don't want to see anybody getting into trouble. So that's the deal there. So I would imagine that the system just needs a little bit of time to catch up, and you'll see that change within the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So, and with that, I'd say the Conservative Party followed through on their promise to fix it. So that's a good thing. Next thing, I just wanted to mention that some people had said in the comments, hey, you never said anything about Bill C-42 or the Royal Senate Bill C-42. What's going on? Don't you care? Well, yeah, I do care. So I'm going to make those comments right now. My comment is a huge display of appreciation to the CSSA and everyone else that played a part in getting Bill C-42 formulated, written, and passed and implemented. So as a gun owner in Canada, much appreciated. Is it everything that we needed? It barely scratches the surface, but it's forward progress. Very encouraging. You know, I really want to show my appreciation to everybody that pitched in for that, and all the MPs in the Conservative Party for doing that. Concerning Bill C-42, though, it is being phased in gradually. So just a couple of things I want to alert you guys on. So as of September 2nd, so about a month from now, 2 more parts of Bill C-42 will come into force. That's the elimination of the possession-only license for people that are 18 and over. You don't have to take any action. Your POL is recognized as a PAL in September by itself, which is excellent. And the other thing is you don't need your ATTs after September 2nd. So ATTs, if you got a new license, you don't have to apply for one. But if you have an existing license, you won't have to carry that paper around. I will say this. Again, I would give yourself a little bit of time for the system to catch up. I'm going to carry my ATT probably for another 2 weeks. Other than that, you know, I never want to see the thing again. Bill C-42, as far as the ATTs are concerned, not carrying that paper is not the biggest deal. But I'll tell you about that. The one benefit and something that I truly appreciate out of Bill C-42 is that no short-term ATTs required on new purchases. So if we do get to a situation where we can go buy a normal firearm that we're licensed to buy, I'd like to take my gun home when I buy it, not make 2 trips so that someone can have the illusion of increased public safety. So if that happens the way that it's laid out, that'll be a good benefit. I really like that. Go buy a gun and take it home with the other guns that I already have. You know, so anyway, and a couple of things that already came into force were the you have to take the Canadian Firearm Safety course. A lot of a lot of discussion about that. It's not really going to affect me because I run between 300 and 400 people a year through the firearm safety course, and I probably do about 7 challenges. It's just not a big part of my business, although I'm sure there might be other people that's a bigger part of their business. But also the clarification on what authority the Chief Firearms Officer actually has, and then it has to be consistent with regulations. That's already come into effect. The strengthening of the criminal code provisions regarding domestic violence, that's not really going to affect me either because I'm not engaging in any. And also the ability for the government to fix mistakes, so in firearms classification. So yeah, it's all kind of falling into place. Anyway, if you have updated information, feel free to comment in the comment box. If you think I've missed anything, feel free to share that with your fellow firearm owners. Kind of exciting. It's all good news. Anyway, if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, I'd love it if you did, @CivilAdvantage1, or you can find us on the web at www.civiladvantage.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.